Good morning guys, I am Abhishek Jain here. Today we are going to discuss about wings and the components present on the wings. So let's get started. What are wings? Wings are the source of generating lift for any flying object. Mind that birds use wings for thrust as well as lift to propel them forward and high. Lift is created perpendicular to the chord and only by the air which flows parallel to the chord line. Based on position, it could be high wing configuration, low wing configuration, midway configuration, anhedral, dihedral. Based on shapes, it could be elliptical, rectangular, swept wing, swept forward, maybe or backward. So why do we see swept wings? So they basically help in directional static stability. Why do we have dihedral wings? They do help in rolling static stability. These days, aerodynamists are copying birds' wing structures and studying for better understand of how aircraft wings can be optimum and efficient. The components that are present on the wings for an conventional aircraft could be slats, flaps, ailerons, flaperons, spoilers, flap track fairings, winglets, anti-shock bodies, fuel tanks, etc. What are ailerons? Ailerons are the structures that helps aircraft to roll and are present at the trailing edge of the aircraft. They are present at end of the wing so as to get high moment for a small deflection also. Slats, the structures that are present at the leading edge of an aircraft wing near fuselage in order to increase the lift by increasing the chord length. What are flaps? Any fixed aircraft has flaps mounted on the wing's trailing edge of the plane. These are high lift devices that at a certain airspeed can actually increase an aircraft wing's lift. They serve several other purposes as well, including providing extra lift where the plane is taking off and increasing the curvature of the wing. When they are extended, they allows aircraft to generate right amount of lift even at lower airspeed. Aircraft flaps essentially aid in the current phases of your flight because they help in wing of the plane adapt to the phase so that it is more successful. With aircraft flaps, you can reduce to roll when taking off, landing, produce more lift so as you can lower your takeoff and landing speeds and produce more drag so that you can have steeper descent without an increase in airspeed. Types of flaps: slotted flap, plain flap, foul flap, fowler flap, split flap, slotted fowler flap. Winglets are the devices that are present at the tip of the wings that helps to reduce induced drag by avoiding formation of vortices. Flap track fairings, the structures that hold mechanism to control the ailerons, flaps, slats to deploy them and are present at the downside of the wing structures. Flap track fairings located along the trailing edge of the wing. These fairings house the mechanism to deploy the wing flaps. The elongated shape of these fairings that extend beyond the trailing edge of the wing are due to aerodynamic principle called the area rule. The area rule was discovered in 1950s by NASA researcher Richard Whitcomb. Whitcomb had found that maintaining a smooth distribution in a cross-section area of the aircraft from nose to trailing significantly reduced aerodynamic drag near Mach 1. This rule of thumb was successfully used in designing a number of earlier supersonic flights. Even though the area rule is typically thought that only for supersonic flights, its principles are also applicable to planes traveling below the speed of sound. The area rule applies to any vehicle traveling at transonic speeds are also as well as low as approximately Mach 0.7. Most commercial airliners, including the Airbus 340, flies within the transonic region between Mach 0.8 to Mach 0.85 of the flap fairing. The shape of the flap fairing used on these airliners helps bring the plane closer to the ideal cross-sectional area distribution to the rule. The pods extended so far aft of the wing in order to maintain a smooth change in the area distribution along the wing of the plane and reduce the overall drag. The Whitcomb began exploring applications of this area rule to subsonic commercial transport during the late 1950s. He quickly discovered that making relative minor changes to the external shape could significantly reduce the drag these aircraft experiences compared to radical wasted fuselage. Shaping required for supersonic flight. Subsonic aircraft could be far more sufficient simple by placing elongated ports along the wing trailing edge. Whitcomb referred to these ports as anti-shock bodies, like those shown in the wind tunnel model. Also note that the large bulge above the forward wing that Whitcomb found further improves transonic aerodynamics. The advantages of Whitcomb wing ports can be appreciated by studying the following figure. The swept wing of Mach 0.9 both with and without anti-shock bodies. This oil flow visualization indicates the behavior of air as it passes over the wing. In the first image, a sharp break in the flow pattern is visible about halfway between the leading and trailing edges. This change in pattern indicates that airflow over the aft portion of the wing has separated from its surface due to shock waves, resulting in higher drag. The presence of anti-shock bodies, however, significantly reduced the strength of the shock waves and separated airflow is nearly eliminated it too. Also interesting to note that Whitcomb later applied this same reasoning to the development of supercritical airfoil during the 1970s. Whitcomb's anti-shock body research was so promising that it suggested the economical cruising speed of standard airliner could be increased from Mach 0.8 to as high as Mach 0.9. The Convair soon put these findings into practice during the development of CV990 airliner. Although the competing Boeing 707 and Douglas DC-8 had already captured the bulk of the market, Convair hoped to attract customers interested in a higher cruise speed. Thanks to the addition of anti-shock bodies and other improvements inspired by the area rule, including modified engine nacelle and pylon shape, Convair engineers were able to increase the economic cruise speed of an CV990 to an impressive Mach 0.89.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.